Facts about originals. You might think you've read everything there is to read about CW's show, The Originals. Did you know that one member of the cast was supposed to be killed off at the end of one season, but was saved by the furious outcry of but the writers? Did you know that one member of the original cast almost played Tom Riddle in the Harry Potter movies? And finally, were you aware that the two members of the originals cast are in relationships with actors from the Vampire Diaries? Let's find out if you knew quite as much about this TV series and what goes on behind the scenes as you thought. Number 1, we nearly lost Josh. That's right, the lovely, adorable, always there for you vampire Josh Rosa was almost killed off at the end of season 1. In fact, he was actually only supposed to be a guest star. That goes to show the power that fans and the writers have to save lives. Number 2, who do you have to thank for originals? You. Where do you think the idea for an originals TV show came from? Do you think that someone overseeing Vampire Diaries came up with it? Do you think the author of the books that inspired that show, L.J. Smith, saw the potential for a spin-off and made the suggestion? Nope and nope. We have the show because the fans came up with it. They were watching Vampire Diaries and they wanted to know more Klaus and the rest of the Michelson family. Fans began making videos using clips from Vampire Diaries. Through these, fans showed the world what an original series would look like. Joseph Morgan, Klaus, and Claire Holt, Rebecca, saw them and started talking. After that, everything just fell into place. Number 3, without originals, you wouldn't have The Flash. This might come as a shock, but before the originals aired, CW had never had a successful spin-off series before. The popularity of the Michelson family has helped convince the powers that be, otherwise known as the decision makers at CW, that spin-off series can be a good thing. So, next time you're watching Barry Allen zoom around, saving super-powered pretty people, just know that you have the Michelson family to thank. Number 4, Sweet Caroline. Even though we haven't seen Caroline and Klaus cuddling it up for a while, there are a lot of fans who still have their fingers crossed for the couple. That's right, some people still have their hopes set on a happily ever after for Klaus and Haley too. Those of us who fantasized about Klaus spending his eternity with Camille, however, are out of luck. When she died, some fans were upset, but some were glad. When viewers thought that the Camille might replace Caroline or Hailey as a love interest for Klaus, some of them lashed out at the actor behind Camille, Leah Pipes. The creator of originals, Julie Plec, found out about the cyberbullying and took action. She posted a series of tweets supporting Leah Pipes. These included the line, "Some of you should be ashamed of yourselves. The rest of you, please continue to be beautiful. The internet needs you. Thanks for supporting us nerds, Julie Plec." Number 5, a Michelson marrying a Bennett? No, not really. Stop panicking. I'm talking about the real-life relationship between Joseph Morgan, aka Klaus, and Persia White. The two met during Vampire Diaries, where White played the mother of Bonnie Bennett, Abby Bennett Wilson. There must have been magic in the air, and the two fell in love when they worked together on a short film called Revelation. Number 6, who would make a better father, Klaus or Joseph Morgan? While Joseph Morgan might not have any kids yet, he long ago wanted Klaus to have them. In 2013, long before Little Hope Michelson was in our heads and on our screens, Morgan told his fans how much he wanted Klaus to be a daddy. I hope he really loves that baby, because I think there's nothing that will be more interesting than a murderous, psychopathic killer who will do anything for his newborn child, and will be tied to people who come and try and take it from him. I think there's something quite powerful about that, and dangerous, and appealing to me at least. He has one weakness, this little tiny baby that he loves with all his heart, and the rest of him is all, teeth and nails. Number 7, Klaus almost attended Hogwarts. Well, Joseph Morgan almost did. One of Morgan's earliest auditions was to be in the Harry Potter movies. It's no surprise that Morgan read these books, considering how big of a reader he is. What is surprising, however, is who he auditioned to be. Tom Riddle. That's right, the man who would become Lord Voldemort was almost played by our very own Klaus Michelson. Number 8, the 7th audition is The Charm? Charles Michael Davis might play Marcel for us now, but he very nearly played someone else. In the early years of Vampire Diaries, Davis auditioned 5 or 6 times for a part. He was turned down each time. When he got the call to be in the originals, he leaped at the chance. The opportunity only got better when Davis discovered Joseph Morgan was part of the cast. The two had been poker buddies several years before. Distrusting each other at the poker table had to make it easier to play Marcel and Claus. Number 9. When the student surpasses the master, or when the spin-off surpasses the original. Almost everyone knows that the Vampire Diaries came first. They were based on a series of novels by L.J. Smith and were a big hit with both readers of the books and brand new fans. So, with all that, how is it that the ratings for the originals have often been better than those of Vampire Diaries? The most common theory is that the story of the Michelsons is more mature than that of Salvatore's. With Damon and Stefan Salvatore, as well as Elena Gilbert, high school plays a primary role. Much of the plotlines center around does he love me and which brother do I love? With the Michelson family, the storyline focuses more on family, on becoming parents, and on choosing loyalties. Finally, the originals gives fans the strange experience of rooting for both the villain and the hero of the story at the same time, Claus Michelson. Number 10. Wait, who dated who? Sometimes keeping track of who has dated who from which show is as difficult as keeping track of the doppelgangers on the Vampire Diaries. Let's see if we can make it a bit simple. Most people know that Ian Somerhalder and Nina Dobrev were together for a long time. This got awkward at times because their real-life breakup occurred at almost the exact time that Elena and Damon finally got together. On the flip side, we have Paul Wesley. For a time, Wesley was married to Tori DeVito. Wesley and DeVito have since divorced, and sources now say Wesley has been getting all cozy with Originals cast member Phoebe Tonkin. Candice Accola and Zach Rohrig, aka Matt, dated for a while, which was cute since their characters were adorable in Vampire Diaries too. Before that, Accola briefly dated Elena's brother, played by Stephen R. McQueen. Number 11. Elijah is gay, not interested, in love with Haley? What? Most of us know Elijah Michelson as the super responsible sibling. He's the one with the moral code and the manners and the level-headedness. However, it turns out that Daniel Gillies was worried about the role of Elijah. He was considered that because of the straight-laced way he played his character, viewers would think Elijah has no sexual interests at all. This would be a problem because it would make it harder to create chemistry between Elijah and Haley later on. Daniel Gillies laughed when a few people thought Elijah was gay instead. From the sheer amount of fans in the world cheering for a relationship between Haley and Elijah, Gillies probably doesn't need to worry too much. Number 12. Once a werewolf, then a vampire, then a werewolf again, then dead? Did you wonder where Jackson went in the originals? He was there early on, vanished, and then came back to be with Haley. It turns out that the actor Nathan Pearsons was actually busy cozying it up with another TV show. He joined the cast of HBO's True Blood for their final season as the vampire James. After that, he bounced back to the CW show. Was multitasking between 2 different shows exhausting? And the schedules did overlap. Considering one show shot in Atlanta, Georgia, and the other filmed in Los Angeles, California, it sure was. Fortunately for Nathan Parsons, it was worth it. As a kid, he loved myths and legends. That's likely what drove him to audition for both Vampire Diaries and Originals multiple times.